So I'm finding out this morning that one of the moderators, the lady that was up there, is actually Kamala's sorority sister. So you have the sorority sister, and then you have her best friend that is one of the execs. So now we know why there was a 3-on-1 debate. So we know that it was a biased debate. No questions asked. So you're celebrating for nothing because she never did get to her policy. She never answered any questions. They never fact checked her on anything.
Vice President Harris began the debate by punting the first question on the economy.
Do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid.
What? I'm so damn confused.
I want to bring something else to your attention, because a lot of people are distorted in knowing what a real leader is. See, Trump is a real leader. A real leader is not perfect by any means. For my Christians out there, you know David in the Bible wasn't perfect. You know Paul wasn't perfect. Noah wasn't perfect. Solomon wasn't perfect. Abraham wasn't perfect. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. King Cyrus. None of those leaders were perfect, but nonetheless, they were leaders. See, a leader shows up. They don't hide from the people. She's saying that she's a part of the people. Then where were you for 3.5 years? You didn't show up. You didn't show up for the families that was in Afghanistan. You didn't show up. All you did was hid behind the keyboard all weekend and talk about the real leader that showed up. You didn't show up to the border. Trump went to the border, even though he wasn't president. He showed up to the border. And for all you black people out there, she didn't even show up to the NABJ. Trump showed up to the NABJ. You know, so the only leader that's perfect was Jesus Christ. But even back then, in his day, they would have called him an imperfect leader, because he didn't concede to their itching of ears and what they wanted to do. He wasn't all about optics. All he was about his father's business, standing on the truth. That's what Jesus was about. He's the only perfect leader. But you know, Satan, they manipulate you with flattery. That's what Satan does. He makes you, they polish themselves up to deceive you. See, Satan is the father of lies. Jesus is the conveyor of truth. And that's what we need during this time. It's time to rise up and speak out against the evil of the atrocities of this party. The manipulation, the gaslighting, it has to stop. And black people, y'all are sitting up here and y'all supporting this stuff. And this woman said that she wasn't doing nothing for black folks. She was locking up black men in jail left and right. And y'all still want to back her. So she's saying that it's time for a change. She is completely right. I 100% agree. It's time for a change, and it's time to get your administration, fire her administration, and move in Trump into the White House. Y'all, so it's time to put America first instead of having America last. So y'all, let's get out there. We stay prayed up. We need to pray during these rough times, and just keep your head on the swivel. And I'll check in with y'all later. All right.